I am owed money. What does that mean, you say? I am just owed money. We're back on Black Ops 6 after some time that I haven't uploaded, so I'm just gonna make a quick one out of this. While I basically discussed my situation that I was in for the past couple of weeks now, I am owed money from my own job. That company that I work for, they basically owe me at least $1,000 in compensation for what I've been through and what I've done. I'm not going to go into details on what the company is or the company that basically I work for. To put it in simple perspective, I basically work as a security guard for venues. And the company that I work for one night, I've done a venue on. I was doing my security job to make sure that everyone's having a safe night, to make sure that everyone will enjoy the show and greet everyone and make sure everyone's having a good time and overall a good experience while I'm working there. Fortunately, as I was working, I came across one of the guests or one of the clients that were there for the show, yada yada yada. That guest was on a date with his girlfriend. Came up to me, I told them to make sure they put their items on the table, and they basically ended up refusing to do so. Yeah, so the guests came up to my line or whatever, and I told them to put the items on the table. They refused to do so, and knowing later on that the person that I was telling that to was an off-duty sheriff, an off-duty deputy, basically. An off-duty deputy basically didn't even wanted to put his items on the table, and he was showing me his card that he was a deputy and stuff. And so basically he just didn't even bother with it. So I was nervous about asking him, saying, hey, you should basically put your stuff on the table. Regardless of who you are, you're still a guest at the venue. It doesn't matter your positioning or where you're at in position, higher authority, etc. And they didn't seem to comply up until they asked that they wanted to speak to a manager. So I had to get the venue manager and get them notified about the situation. They came through, they spoke, the deputy spoke and whatnot. He had basically an armed weapon, by the way. He was armed with a pistol, and then for some reason before the manager came, he showed me that he had a clip in his pocket. I mean, I don't know what the point of that was entirely. I don't know if it's just to show authority, to act like you're, that you're armed and dangerous. I don't understand. All I said was, okay, but you still got to put your stuff. And he refused, and so that's when he asked for the manager. Yeah, manager came. He basically spoke with the off-duty deputy, or the guest, was told to go put the weapon back in his vehicle, and so he did. Basically, he complied. But all it took was for a manager to come comply, and I guess they refused to somebody like me who's working there. For me, I don't understand it. I don't understand the process of that situation. It doesn't make sense. But nonetheless, as that happened and so went on, I was waiting to hope that I'd get compensated for catching a guest or somebody that had an armed weapon. Even regardless if they are deputy or not, it was still a compensation that was told by the venue managers, that was told by my upper managements, and yet I got no response or no notification from my managers or HR about the situation and about the money that I'm owed, because it is a compensation by the corporation to do so, whether it is stated that it would be an officer or not. It's still basically somebody with an armed weapon who could still have basically intentions of doing something. Now, they might not have the intentions right then and there, but I mean, could you imagine if something happened, if there was a fight broke loose during the show because some drunks are there having a good time, people are dancing, people are just fucking enjoying the show, and then a fight breaks loose, and that's why we have indoor security of the venue. And I was on the outside, of course. But I'm saying, regardless, I'm still supposed to be compensated by my own job, by my own companies, HR management or schedule department or, payroll department. I was supposed to be compensated about it, but I've had one of my supervisors that was there that witnessed it all. The supervisor basically told the event management about the compensation that was supposed to happen later on, and they would discuss it later. Apparently, my supervisor had a reply from the management saying that they didn't give a shit. And to me, it doesn't make sense. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you know, what do you mean he said it? That, you know, he doesn't care. To me, I'm like, it's still basically catching somebody with a weapon. And so it doesn't make sense at all how I don't even receive compensation for my job. Now, granted, I do think the deputy or the off-duty sheriff, you know, is a great guy. The intentions of like seeking somebody like lower of your positioning, and then, you know, the intentions of what it could have been right then and there, you never know. Like, I don't understand the situation of it. I've spoken to the officer before, like, meanwhile, as the management was trying to get there, but I've spoken to the officer saying that he has worked for over 13 years. 13 years as a deputy, and you're telling me that you, the one who has worked for over 13 years, while it's only been a year for me to work as a security guard, don't know that you cannot bring an armed weapon at a venue? Like, I'm sure different venues are you know, their policies are, you know, very much different from another, and maybe some policies comply or basically accept, you know, off-duty officers to have weapons within the venue. But I think, to me, it still doesn't make sense, though.
I didn't have my screen on the whole time.
Okay.
I'm gonna need every last drop of this.
This is why I hate this game. But anyways, you're telling me that 13 years as a deputy or as an officer that you don't know the policy of bringing an armed weapon at a venue? Like, I think, to me, that's probably bullshit, right? Even nowadays, there's people who are fraudulent on having a license or like a permit or something to basically show that they are a, by law from the state, an officer. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just, you know, stating the fact that is just weird to me. And for him to seek somebody like me doing my job and basically looking at me down, or basically looking at me to be like a lower being, I do think the intentions were there, though. I mean, the intentions of somebody to just basically come up to you and look at you and be like, yeah, I have higher authority, I have a higher positioning, I know what I'm doing, I know this shit back of my hands. But to me, it doesn't make any sort of sense still. And sometimes a part of me thinks that it is just a racial intention, because for one, and obviously I'll be open about this, I am a Latino, Mexican, whatever you want to call me, but I'm also very much American. And it was basically a white man deputy officer. I'm sorry if I'm making this about race, but sometimes there is some intentions that it is racism.
Leave us some kills.
Alright, bro. I'll just use the pistol this round. That's fine.
Yeah, please leave us some kills. Don't get 100.
I mean, I don't understand why people like have this intention of wanting to brag that they're just gonna be good at the game. Oh, leave us some kills, bro. Anyways, to basically sum it up, I was basically told from the beginning that I would get basically compensation from doing something like this, and doing something like this, it was not comfortable at all, I can tell you that. Ooh, no! No! That was, okay. Why? What did I do? Anyways, yeah, I'm just ranting a lot about my job, even though a job is a job regardless. It can always bullshit you most of the times, like 80% of the times, really. Which is why I don't really, like, care too much. But it's still basically money that should be compensated for my doings. And I've had so many people, including many supervisors and many other people, that were told about the situations and try to help me about it, but I have yet to receive anything within 3 weeks from my HR. So at this point, I don't really care, and all I have to do is basically rant about it to a video. Because, I mean, a job's a job at the end of the day, whether it bullshits you or not. You know, you either have to sue them, you have to, like, do some shit about it. Some people like to push it further to, like, basically get them to get that compensation. But I'm not that kind of person to just push any further means by it, because I don't want to cause any problems at my job. Nor do I like being in situations like that. I would just more prefer to, like, rant about it and hope that, you know, there's some relation that maybe you guys have been into that basically I have experience once in my life like this. Overall, I would like to even state that I have been kind of lazy on uploading videos. I haven't been such in a mood to like do so, and I've been pretty busy for like the month. So it's kind of been hard to like figure out what to do and what games to basically upload about. Maybe even sometimes what to commentate about. And, you know, this game is just... I can always turn my brain off, usually every now and then, playing this game. Ooh, that guy scared me. I mean, I'm basically just trying to have fun at all times, and this is still basically my brain turned off. Which is why I like playing hardcore, because it's just instant kills and I don't have to really try. So it's more fun for me this way. Again, I'm not really trying, it's just very funny to me how this is just natural, how I play. Oops, my bad. I mean, it went 63 and 34. But yeah, I haven't really been like the most active on uploading, and I'm trying to still do that. Again, it's always basically hard for me to figure out which games I want to record for and upload. And so, I mean, this is basically just a rant for how busy I've been the past month and how much work has been placed on my hands. So there hasn't really been a lot of time, to be exact. So I'm still making time for it and whatnot, but this is just a quick rant about my own job and how it is going for me. And $1,000 is probably not going to happen, and still I'll rant about it to this day, and it'll be basically a permanent memory, just a permanent discussion with people that I can talk about in the future. So I mean, it is what it is. Nonetheless, my job has been pretty steady. It's been pretty fine. But yeah, everything's dandy, everything's fine, you know. I'm just here enjoying my life. And I look forward to basically like a trip that I'm gonna be going to for the first time. I don't think I'll like be a vlog about it or anything. I just, you know, it's just basically a planned trip. So this trip should at least clear a lot of my mind and have extra enjoyment for my life. Shit! I want to go in! Man, this match ended pretty quick. But yeah, this is basically supposed to be a quick, short one. So, I mean, I hope you guys enjoy, and then I hope that I can still continue to make more, I don't want to say content, but more videos basically like this. So, catch you guys in the next one. Peace.